I welcome you to be part of our drive to the historical town of Dholka in Gujarat, India. It is a small town or a semi-village with a network of broken to metal roads, market complexes, food stalls and tourist places. Dholka is down south from Ahmedabad. We drove around 45 kilometers south to visit it. On our way from Lothal, the site of the ancient ruins of the Harappan culture, we travelled 63 kilometers east from the dry lands of the Midwest Gujarat to the relatively humid grounds. Our plan included to visit two places. First, the Pariyej or Dholka Wetlands, where birds come visiting from faraway places, and travel northwest to the ancient Alif Khan Masjid or Mosque. We stopped for the breakfast at a local food stall, genuine, fresh and extremely economic. You are seeing dhokla, soft and spongy with chilies and curry leaves. Behind it, a stack of jalebis, hot and ready to eat. We wrap the breakfast with steaming cups of tea. Early morning, the roads attracted less traffic. We also saw local city buses ferrying people across the town. Dholka is famous since the ancient days. In the epic Mahabharata, this town was known as Virat Nagar. Local history tells us that Pandavas had visited the place. Kichak, the commander-in-chief of Matsya, tried to harass Draupadi, wife of Pandavas, and was killed here by Bhim, one of the Pandavas, to avenge the insult to their wife. After driving for 10 kilometers, the landscape changed. Cultivated fields on either sides of the road lay under a brilliant sunny blue sky. The ribbon-like road and green paddy fields made us park the car. We soaked in the natural beauty. All around us, as far our eyes could see, it was green and dark brown. Vegetables like cabbage, cauliflowers were grown as their green leaves were shaking lightly in the gentle breeze. From far away over the quiet countryside, we heard an unmistakable cacophony of bird sounds, and as we turned right, the blue sky was dotted with birds flying in circles above the green canopy. The air also smelled of marshes. Yes, we had reached the Dholka Wetlands. The late morning sun was shimmering over the water surface of the Pariyaj Wetlands. The lake was quite placid, only moved when the birds flocked to land on them. We came across a large section of a lake, or a piece of land inundated with groundwater. It was bordered by rectangular muddy mounds that bifurcated the land. Deeply engrossed, we saw scores of birds busy with their incessant search for fish and morsels. We were able to see Indian black ibis, tall greater egrets merrily pecking the water surface and the banks of the lake. Few of the birds were quite close. A lesser egret was wading a section of the wetland. At places, the aquatic vegetation was thick and very dense. We saw a pair of bronze-winged jacanas. The beautiful feathers were flashing sun rays as they roamed the undergrowth for snails, worms, small crabs, and fishes, which were, I guess, in millions existed. Far away we saw a pond heron acutely looking at some fish and moving slowly to pounce. We saw a pair of black-headed ibis. They were standing on one leg and had tucked their heads with their long bent beak deep into its white plumage. A passing vehicle made them fly, and they climbed high into the blue sky and circled above before disappearing over the horizon. They looked like bomber aircrafts ready to unleash their loads. An extremely sleek and agile open-billed stork rose from the aquatic plants, taxied and was airborne, the black and white wings generating enough lift to climb over the tree line. Within seconds, the massive bird reached level height, stretched out its black and white colored wings like a supreme glider and flew above the adjoining trees, the pink legs tucked away behind to reduce drag, making it climb more. We left behind the wetlands and approached our second place of visit, the Mosque of Alif Khan. We were completely taken aback by the sheer size of the structure. It was huge, even from a distance of 3 kilometers away. On the road edge, we found a decorated stone and brick structure on a pedestal. It was Persian architecture. It may have served the waiting place for the visitors to the mosque which was across the road. We parked along the mosque perimeter wall to have a glimpse of the mosque complex. Through a dilapidated gate, we entered the mosque complex and started walking over the uneven ground. Dusty and uncut growth of trees lined the wall face. The wall ended up to a lake, quite big. The stone wall was old, as it was evident from the wall surface and construction. The lake was called the Khan Talab or the Khan Lake. The lake had sluice gates through which water could come in. It seemed the lake was deep and rows of trees and old building structures could be seen on the other side of the lake bank. The nearest bank of the lake was very dirty and the local population had not kept the place clean. It was sad to see plastics and dirt lying everywhere. The mosque was tall and broad. Stone carvings could be seen, and decorations around the conical short structures met a stone platform that ended towards the lake. The wall was in bad condition. We could see the plaster had peeled off. The mosque was built of bricks and limestone. A broken staircase went all the way up to the roof of the mosque. A small opening perhaps gave way to the minaret that had broken off. On the roof edge, trees and shrubs had grown. Its roots had driven deep inside the wall base. Coming around on the other end, we saw a shorter dome that was perhaps the gate through which the passage led to the main mosque ground. Small and narrow brick carvings adorned the dome base. With the plaster gone, the bricks told the story. These bricks were slim and long, not found today. This meant it was built around 13th or 14th century. It had seen better days. The main mosque presented itself in front. It was gigantic. It had 3 globular structures on top and guarded by 2 tall minarets. Each must be around 150 feet or 200 feet tall. Presently, one broken and out of shape. 3 closed iron gates could be seen. They were the entrances to the main building. This Persian architectured mosque was built during the 14th century to remember Alif Khan, who was a general to Sultan Mahmud Begeda, the 7th Sultan of Gujarat. You are seeing an edifice of the Delhi Sultanate period when Bahlol Lodi of the Lodi dynasty was ruling India. The entire structure threw dark shadows on the courtyard in front. A second globe was seen on top of one minaret. The other one had vanished due to an earthquake that destroyed a structure that connected both the minarets, as told by another visitor who accompanied us. The broken mosque wall had a broken platform lined with a curved top that went all the way to a flight of steps that went ahead and met the lake. A discolored metal plaque on one side told briefly the story of this mosque. A well-decorated structure, very Persian architecture, abundance of symbolic geometry like circles and squares, symmetrical layouts, artistically constructed with a central dome with sections jutting out of the roof. Curved and chiseled pillars held the structure. Such an old structure was still holding itself with such beauty. We have completed exploring a mosque which was more than 560 years old. We also saw briefly the wetlands of Dholka. Hope you enjoyed both. I thank you for being with us. Goodbye.